Here on Kato, we're doing the Year of Classics, 2 videos each month on a different beloved anime series throughout history. As you can see, this video is going to use clips from 2011's Hunter x Hunter, and technically the 1999 series didn't even cover the Chimera Ant arc, but I'm making an exception due to the fact that the manga is fairly old and all of this stuff originally published almost 20 years ago. So, my name is Hoodie, this is Kato's Year of Classics, and today let's talk about the narration in Hunter x Hunter. Did you know that Kato is a 2-man operation? That means the few dollars this channel makes are split between Zero and I. To do this full time, we need your support. Go to patreon.com/KatoYT and give just $1 to get access to our Discord, or buy a shirt at KatoMerch.com. With your help, we're one step closer to dismantling the oligarchy of anime YouTube. Let me start off by saying this. The narrator during the Chimera Ant arc makes for some of the most epic moments of the entire series. When done right, the omniscient voice is one that can call attention to things that the viewer has no natural way of understanding or knowing ahead of time. At its best, the Hunter x Hunter narrator gives us moments like this.
つまり真相は不可避の速攻である
Or this.
作戦開始からおよそ3分
These are brief instances where the addition of an epic description detailing the events enhances the moment beyond what can be conveyed purely visually, whether that be contextualizing a scene's place in the timeline or remarking on just how incredible a feat of physicality something is. To say that the narrator during the Chimera Ant arc is all bad would be a massive overstatement. The things it's capable of adding are to be well appreciated. That said, I'm personally a bit hesitant to call the incredible ramp up of narration during the arc all that necessary. There are definitely moments, in fact a lot of them, where I find myself in the camp of believing the narrator to be redundant, or expositing information that is easily inferable. I think about this scene specifically, where Knuckle watches on as Shoot fights Youpi, knowing that any assistance he gives his comrade would be a detriment to the overall plan. We watch as the narrator describes the damage Shoot is sustaining, but that damage is already being shown in an explicit manner. He then repeats the sentiment that Knuckle is struggling to hold back, something that Knuckle himself already noted on through inner monologue. The narration in this specific scene, in my opinion, is pointless. I don't find it emotionally amplifying or necessary in a contextual sense. But I think it's important in these situations to take a step back and examine why things are, as opposed to simply lobbing limitless praise or intense criticism. I don't expect any individual person to care or shape their own opinions based on general consensus. If you love or hate this, or any aspect of Hunter x Hunter, that's perfectly fine. I'm not really setting out to change your mind. But I find the deep divide of opinions concerning the narration to be incredibly fascinating. The opinions I've shared thus far are from the perspective of someone who watched the anime, but that ignores a very glaring aspect to Hunter x Hunter, which is that, first and foremost, it's a manga. So when I say that the narrator isn't necessary for a scene, I guess the more important question to ask is, when is narration necessary? Obviously, as mentioned already, narration in either medium, manga or anime, can be used as emotional punctuation or a way to contextualize certain events. But beyond that, I think it's a very interesting tool for manga and comics specifically. For longtime fans of Kato, you'll know that my experience with manga is pretty limited, and mostly cataloged in a series of podcasts on our second channel. So much of these past couple of years for me has been this intense dive into the medium to figure out what exactly makes people such huge fans. What is it that a manga can do that an anime can't? And the simplest, recurring answer I get constantly is, it's just faster to read. Give it a week or two, and anyone dedicated enough can knock out the past 20 years of One Piece. Meanwhile, doing the same feat in anime could take a month and a half, probably 2. For those who just want to consume a story in the quickest form possible, the self-dictated nature of manga pacing is a definite plus. Where narration comes in is in a mangaka's attempt to gain back some of the control in that dynamic. If I made a 20-page comic with no dialogue bubbles and just wide, page-size art spreads, it'd be very tempting for a large chunk of readers to just zoom past all of it in a minute or two and be done with the comic in no time. And sure, they may get the broad strokes of what each panel consisted of and probably understand the story from there. But what the written word does is force you to slow down. To not just skim your eyes from top to bottom and turn the page, but to travel from panel to panel, reading each word and by proxy, really taking in what it is you're looking at. Sticking with the Chimera Ant arc, this moment with Killua is, in my opinion, a prime example of that. This is a bit of narration that arguably isn't entirely necessary. I'm sure there are points to be made for both sides, and maybe you think the narration helps solidify the emotional beat, but pretend that it doesn't. Let's assume that the narration in this moment is as redundant as some claim it to be. When looking at it from the perspective of a manga, it still fulfills a key role in determining the pacing of the scene. It forces you to stop, drawing your eyes from corner to corner, taking in not only the beautiful art, but exemplifying the fact that this scene is clearly meant to be in slow motion. Sure, in theory that could be gathered in a quick glance with no narration through noting on the extreme use of blurred lines surrounding Killua's movement, but instead of just noticing it, the narration demands that you experience it. It's all facets of a panel composition working in conjunction to deliver an idea, and I think that is the beauty of the narrator. But the title of this video says Yorknu, and for as much as I just defended the Chimera Ant's narrator, I still don't really love him. Part of me still feels that there's a better way. One that can accomplish all the goals set out by narration, but also be appreciated by more than just half of the audience. A method of non-diegetic exposition, something to dictate pacing for the manga readers. A tool that is capable of giving emotional insight into the characters we know and love. I really love the character of Melody, and there's something I only learned to appreciate this most recent viewing. It was as I was closing out 1999's Yorknu arc and watching Kurapika and Paku stare each other down for Chrollo's life that it hit me just what this character does for the narrative. The thing is, in a lot of ways, Melody's role is incredibly similar to that of the narrator. Through her ability to detect heartbeats and interpret the music of one's emotions, Melody is capable of giving that emotional insight and reinforcing these really raw, powerful scenes that we'd see the narrator do in the Chimera Ant arc.
あなたは頭の隅で矛盾を感じている。パクノダがなぜ一人で来たのか、そのことに。旅団が本当に非常なだけの組織なら、この人質交換自体成立しないはず。
Where Melody differs from the narrator is in being a character herself. Not only does she see Kurapika for what he is beyond the emotional walls in an almost objective sense, doing so enriches her own character as being one of extreme empathy. Not only does she interpret the heartbeats of her comrades and their building anger and intensity, but in addition reacts with concern, even outright distress. For as much as he can offer to the story, I don't love the narrator, but the care and concern expressed by Melody make me love her, and in a way perfectly accomplish for Yorknu what I found lacking for Chimera Ant. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like down below and share it with your friends. I want to give a massive shout out to Spencer Irulik Games and all of the incredible patrons over at patreon.com/KatoYT. Please, if you can, head on over there and give just $1 to get access to our exclusive patron Discord. You can also get our t-shirts over at KatoMerch.com or follow us on Twitter at Zero and Hoodie. Links to all of these will be in the description. My name is Hoodie, this is Kato, and I'll see you next week.